Hello and welcome back to The Explainer. Have you ever just looked at India's tax laws and thought, this is way too complicated? Well, you're not alone. But get ready, because a truly historic change is on the horizon. The new income tax bill for 2025 is here, and it's designed to simplify, modernize, and frankly, revolutionize the whole system. So today, we're going to break down this landmark reform, what's actually in it, how it's going to affect you, and why it's such a big step toward a more taxpayer-friendly India. All right, let's dive right in. So the first question we really have to tackle is, why? Why go through all the trouble of rewriting a law that's been around for over 60 years? I mean, what was so broken that it needed a complete teardown and rebuild instead of just another quick fix? Well, the answer really lies in the old Income Tax Act of 1961. Now, for more than half a century, this was the absolute bedrock of India's tax system. But over all those years, it became this tangled mess of rules and exceptions to the rules and amendments on top of amendments. It got to a point where even tax pros had trouble navigating it, never mind the average person just trying to pay their fair share. Just take a look at this number, 4,000. The 1961 Act was amended more than 4,000 times. Just try to imagine a document being edited that many times. Every single change, even if it made sense at the time, just added another layer of complexity. It created contradictions, confusion, and all sorts of legal gray areas. So all of that complexity basically forced the issue. There was this urgent need for a real reform. The main goal? To draft a simpler law that people could actually read and understand. And at the same time, to push for a digital-first, faceless system to make everything more transparent. This wasn't just about making things easier for us here at home. It was also about getting our tax system in line with global standards to attract investment. And, maybe most importantly, to finally cut down on that endless cycle of legal battles that was just jamming up the courts. So out of that necessity, we got the solution. The Income Tax Bill of 2025. And let's be clear, this isn't just another patch. It's a whole new blueprint, built from the ground up on these core ideas of simplicity, clarity, and modern digital-first governance. This comparison chart here really nails the philosophical shift. The government basically took a red pen to the old law and cut it in half, getting rid of or streamlining tons of confusing provisions to create something, well, simple and clear. The whole system is moving away from manual, paper-based stuff to a digital-first world. And that's not just for convenience. A more logical, organized law is specifically designed to get rid of the very ambiguities that led to so many legal fights in the first place. And this massive change wasn't rushed. If you look at the timeline, you can see a really thoughtful process. The bill was introduced, then actually withdrawn so they could get feedback on it, and then brought back after they incorporated hundreds of suggestions. It shows they're trying to get this right before it's set to roll out on April 1st, 2026. This quote from the finance minister really hits on that collaborative spirit. Calling it a people-centric reform makes it clear that the goal wasn't just some boring bureaucratic spring cleaning. It was a genuine effort to make a law that actually works for the people of India. Okay, so we've talked about the why and the how, but now for the part you've probably been waiting for. What's in it for you, the individual taxpayer? Let's break down the real, tangible benefits. This number right here, this is the big one. This is the headline benefit of the entire reform. Under the new default tax regime, if you're an individual earning up to 12 lakh rupees a year, you'll pay zero income tax. Let that sink in. That is a massive relief aimed squarely at boosting the money in your pocket, especially for middle-class households. And hey, for salaried folks, it gets even better. Once you apply the standard deduction, which is basically a flat amount you can just subtract from your income, that tax-free limit effectively jumps up to 12.75 lakh rupees. This is all about putting more money directly into the pockets of working professionals. But it's not just about tax relief. The bill totally redesigns the whole experience of paying taxes. Just imagine filing your return with pre-filled forms that already have most of your info plugged in. That saves you time and cuts down on mistakes. And if your return gets picked for a review, the whole process is anonymous and faceless, which helps ensure it's fair.
And if you do have a problem, you're not just left hanging anymore. There are now clear timelines for getting things sorted out.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. A reform this huge is going to have ripple effects across the whole economy. But let's be real, it's not going to be without its challenges. It's super important to have a balanced view here. The potential economic impact is just huge. I mean, think about it. When millions of families have more money to spend, that boosts consumption, which helps drive GDP growth. At the same time, simpler tax rules make India a much more attractive place for global investors. But on a deeper level, the hope is that a system that feels fairer and more transparent will actually build trust and encourage more people to pay their taxes voluntarily. Of course, no big change is ever perfectly smooth, and experts have pointed out some potential hurdles. For instance, how is this new system going to handle unique things like Hindu undivided families, or HUFs, which are a special legal status for families? And what about all the ongoing legal cases under the old system? Plus, maybe the biggest challenge of all is making sure that every taxpayer, especially in rural areas and small businesses, really understands these new rules and how to adapt. So what's the bottom line here? This bill is a fundamental reset button. It's a conscious move away from a century of built-up complexity and a move towards a tax system that's designed from the start to be simpler, fairer, and ready for a digital, modern India. The promise is definitely there, but the big question remains. Will this truly create a simpler, fairer system for everyone? The truth is, the real test will be how it's all put into practice over the next few years. So what do you think about these new reforms? Let us know down in the comments. If you found this explainer helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. We'll see you in the next one.